The first question I have for you, Dave, is what is the big takeaway that business owners should have from the event that we did last night?
Yeah, I think the big thing that companies are missing right now is the ability to detect what's going on in their computing environment. So, I mean, there's a lot of emphasis on, well, we have firewalls and we have antivirus software and all this stuff, but people are still getting in. The question I always ask is, can you detect if someone breaks in? And if they do break in, do you have a response to that? Do you have a way to stop that? And that really is what's missing in huge companies as well as little companies and even down to the individual at home. And they just need to figure out a way to get that in.
Well, that makes me ask a question. How are small businesses able to afford this sort of thing?
I think the place I'd focus right now is there are, I know, for instance, you have an offering that I was looking at. What do you call it? Active IT? Okay, yeah, Active IT. Okay, that's a, I guess I call that a managed security offering. I think that's where the market needs to go. If like yours, focus on building a way to manage that specifically for the SMB market. A lot of this has been done in the enterprise market already. If you look at companies like SunGuard and the old ComDisco, they did a lot of this kind of thing, but it was very expensive and unaffordable for the mid-market and the small market. They catered to very large banks. A lot of this stuff was outsourced. It has been for forever. But there's no reason why we can't bring it down to the SMB market and provide that same kind of enterprise level support simply by putting the infrastructure here in one building and spreading it out among many, many small clients. And it's built specifically for the SMB market so that it becomes an affordable solution. I think that's perfect. I would urge you to continue to build that out and really be looking at the SMB security needs, as I know you are, because to me, that's the answer. That's the way to go.
Now, what about organizations that have an IT person on staff or an IT department?
When you try to get somebody who has enough credentials to manage a computing environment, but it's only one person, and then you start to move into the security space, and what I'm finding is security is a specialty. You have system administrators, you have people who are storage administrators, you have people who are application administrators, you have help desk people, you have security people. I mean, there's all different kinds of people. There's a person who focuses on, building a house. And then there's a person who just focuses on plumbing. And then there's a person who, somewhere just focuses on the well system, and you start to get down to this very focused skill set. Security is like that. You can't just sort of be in security. You've got to be in security. That means you're going to security training classes, you're reading about security, you're studying security, you're talking to security people all the time. How does anybody keep up with all that stuff and do system administration, help desk calls, PC implementation? I mean, you're asking a lot. And then I will add this. Let's say you do take somebody who's really interested in security and you send them to all that training and you have, 10 people or 20 people in your company. Well, guess what? When that person gets all those skills, they're going to be worth a lot of money and they're going to know it. And they're going to leave. So, it's kind of like an SMB person having their own payroll people and their own accountants and their own legal staff. And, it just doesn't make sense. You just find a quality organization. I do it too. I run a small business. And I just farm that stuff out to the experts. You're an expert in this. You're an expert in that. That's the way to do it.
Well, and it's so true. Many of the new accounts that we get are because their staff has left. And one of the things that we love about our team is that we all bring different skill sets into it, and we have people to back up each other if some person isn't available. So that's good. So what do we tell the users? What vulnerabilities do they have in this security? We've talked about the IT side of this, but what's a user supposed to do to protect themselves?
I'm glad you asked that, because to me, that's the big gaping hole in anybody's computing environment right now. If you look at old school security network implementations, we had a firewall. Everybody's sitting behind that firewall. Well, that's great. But today, just about everybody is operating either on a home computer maybe they have a work computer at work, and then they go home and they work on stuff at night because we're being asked to do more and more, and so we're emailing information home, or we're carrying laptops, and if nothing else, a smartphone. So what we've done here.
Do you use an iPhone, Dave?
I'm waiting on the Google phone, Nate. I appreciate you asking.
You want to borrow mine because this is just great.
Thank you. I don't know. I heard they hacked into those recently. Anyway.
We tease Dave a lot about that.
What was I? Oh, yeah. So here's the thing. The whole idea of a perimeter with a firewall and kind of a front line of security in front of a company is gone. There is no such thing. The data is in email. It's on websites. It's traveling around on laptops and smartphones.
A question, though, kind of here, and I'll have people ask me this. They still have the firewall, and information still has to go in and outside of it. So why is the firewall ineffective?
Well, I'm not saying it's necessarily completely ineffective. What I'm saying is that most users aren't sitting behind it. Because what happens is they end up bringing data onto their computer.
Right.
Even if they're operating in a cloud computing environment or a database, they will still download data to their computer and take it with them somewhere. Not to mention, even inside the organization, people aren't hacking into firewalls. These people are interacting on Facebook, on other social networking sites. They're doing things that allow them to work with and connect with people that they don't know or can't see. And so I don't know if I get an email if it's really from Nate or if it's from somebody who thinks they're Nate or is trying to be Nate. And I don't really know what's in that email. And we've seen just many, many instances of someone taking over a Facebook account, sending stuff out to those people's friends with data, with applications that will land on those computers and compromise them, and that person doesn't know. End users need to be educated on where the real risks are. I was just talking to a guy last night at our event, and he was talking about a company that he was involved with that thought they were really secure. And so someone challenged them on that and did a little assessment, and the company was like, there's no way you're going to be able to get in. All they did was drop some USB drives in the parking lot. Now, this is the oldest trick in the world. Anybody who still falls for this, is like not reading, they're in a cave somewhere. But yet they still fell for it, and they got right in. I mean, what's that? It's just a lack of awareness. And that's what users need. They need to be taught. They need to have constant education. And that's the value, I think, of having a relationship with an organization like yours that is studying security. Because where are they going to get that from? They're not going to read it. They need it to be taught to them. They need, I know you've put together a blog. That's a great place to start to put user awareness training type things. And I know you've talked about doing that. That's perfect, because that allows me to just get short snippets on a regular basis of input from somebody who knows what's going on and is current.